We need to find out who sent the mercenaries. This Pegast said that they were after the Signet Stone, and if they succeed in getting hold of it next time, then the Black Guardian alone knows how to stop the cycle.
The cycle? Listening to you talk almost makes me forget that all this fuss here is merely based on some bad dreams you and your Neremese friends had.
The threat is real. Deny it as much as you like, but deep inside, you feel it as much as I do.
Tealor, you're a commander, and a commander doesn't care about feelings, but about facts. You have made this mistake before, Tealor, back then in Kira. And we all know...
The mission will happen. I'm sorry.
You have a visitor.
Huh? Oh, hi.
So, you are the prodigy everyone is talking about. Interesting. I am Tealor Arantheal, son of Lorius I and Grandmaster of the Order, and I'm honored to meet you. What is your name?
Xilestar, you wanted to see me?
Yes, and I will come straight to the point. You are here because I believe that you are special. Humanity faces a threat that needs to be stopped, and to achieve this, you are indispensable.
Talking about the Red Madness, aren't you?
Among other things, yes. I do not need to explain to you that the present situation on Vin is chaotic. The wars, the living dead, common people who are losing their minds, to name only the most obvious. What most people are not aware of is the connection between these events. You, however, have encountered it, as have I.
The visions, so you know where they come from?
I do. And I will explain everything to you. What it means, who we are, and what your part in all of this is. Come, follow me. Maybe you already know who I am. My entire life, I served the gods who ruled Vin, until their death 2 years ago. What you probably do not know is that the one responsible for their death is my son, Nerezul Arantheal. He hated the Lightborn because he believed that they robbed mankind of their right to freedom, so he strived to overthrow them. He found followers, formed an army and declared war on them, and thus on me, a servant of the Lightborn as well. It all ended in a battle 30 years ago, which Nerezul won. He killed every single survivor except for me, and locked me in a dungeon on Nerim. I still do not know why he spared me.
So the Lightborn are really dead? If you, the Order of the Gods, acknowledge that fact, why do people not know about it? If Nerezul was your son, why did he hate the gods so much? Shouldn't he have been, oh, I don't know, devoted to them? Actually, I feel like... I mean, this one makes sense.
There were circumstances favoring the development, but it's a long story, which we won't discuss now.
Okay. What about they're really dead, so why do only you guys know about it?
Good question. Because at the moment, stability is the highest good, even more so considering what we are facing. The rulers of Kira and Kile both made the mistake to acknowledge the death of the gods to their people, and the civil wars that followed in their countries are evidence of the chaos that such a revelation entails. Enderal is the cradle of the Order of the Gods, the epitome of theocracy. It is unthinkable what would happen if we confirmed these rumors. I am sure you understand this. Maybe when all this is over that will change, but for now it is imperative that we deny all rumors of that kind.
So you're taking the information that should be common knowledge by now and putting it as a confidential source instead. Like you're putting it, like, instead of labeling it as public knowledge, you're labeling it as a government secret. That doesn't make any sense, especially since it's about religion. Anyway, but you managed to free yourself.
Yes, after more than 30 years, when the death of the gods made the magic around the prison disappear. And during my escape in the northern mountains of Nerim, I also had them for the first time. The dreams.
You do realize I am the one that freed you, right? I got separated by from Kim? It's either Kim or Kara or something like that. It's a K name.
The same glaring, terrible light. Heard screaming, and I felt like I was burning up from the inside. And above all, like a veil, there was the knowledge of imminence. At first, of course, I dismissed these dreams as the delusion of a man close to death. So I concentrated on making it through the mountains somehow. 2 days after my escape, I was completely exhausted, and I would have died if a former acolyte of my son had not found me.
Acolyte of your son, but weren't they your enemies then?
Yes, but he did not recognize me, and brought me to their headquarters instead, an old monastery in the mountains. The others were aware of my identity, but for whatever reason they did not kill me. Maybe because they thought that the death of the Lightborn had made me insignificant. I do not know. Still, even after my recovery, the dreams continued. At first I doubted my sanity, but after some time I told the leader of the mages, Constantine, about them. And he said something that I'd never expected. I was not alone. He, as well as many others magically gifted on Vin, dreamed the same dreams. And the more we talked about the matter, the stronger our suspicion grew, which has now turned out to be the truth.
Why is my character slower than his walking when I'm walking, but my running is faster than his walking? So dumb.
The dreams, they come from the same place. They are a shared memory.
Shared memory? You mean the dreams originate from a what? A common mind?
A collective subconscious, yes. I know that you can feel it too, and probably far more intense than we do. But like you back then, we were not able to make sense of the images. So we went looking for answers in the remains of the civilization that was before us. The Pyreans.
Those the excavations like old Rashengrad. What did you find out?
3 things. First, there were many civilizations before us and before the Pyreans. Maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. Second, the history of each civilization unfolded and still unfolds according to a pattern. They emerge, they blossom, and at some point, at the apex of their existence, they simply disappear without any trace. And third, everything that has happened in the past years, and which is still happening, indicates that this disappearance lies ahead of us. We are part of an eternal loop, a cycle, and our cycle is approaching its end.
Uh-oh. War? And you mean that the chronicles of each civilization are identical?
Not identical, but one can split them up into episodes which repeat themselves in the very same manner, into patterns.
Okay. So this is your explanation for the Red Madness, the wars?
Yes, dramatically put, they're the envoys of the end.
Uh-huh. Okay. Hundreds of prophets have predicted the end of the world, and it never happened. I think the middle one makes more sense.
I see why you would say that, and I felt the same way for a very long time too. But there came a moment when we simply could not deny it anymore. We began to study the history of the Pyreans more intensely, and the parallels were extraordinary. In its early days, the Pyrean Empire was split up by a disaster, just like Vin was split up by the Starfall after the reign of the Eterna.
Oh, okay.
Also, the Pyreans had a ruling caste who declared themselves gods after the catastrophe. the two castes of the Sun Priest. They too ruled until they were overthrown. This overthrowing was followed by an outbreak of wars and chaos. And then, just like that, the Pyreans ceased to exist. They knew it was imminent, but they could not prevent it. They called this event the Cleansing.
So wait, so you're telling me that because of the whole story in Nehrum created the whole plot line for this game? That's pretty interesting. Okay. Pyreans knew about the threat. Why didn't they try to do something about it? How in blazes can an entire civilization just disappear? No, they knew about it?
They tried, but they failed. Who knows why? Maybe they found out too late, or maybe they were too weak.
Or maybe it was too late. Like maybe they were about to die tomorrow kind of thing, and they found out today, and they went, well, you know, we only have about 12 hours before we're dead. Oops. How in blazes can an entire civilization just disappear?
That is the question we need to find an answer to. The end was not violent, at least not in a sense as we know it. There was no natural disaster, no magical explosion, no plague. Even though there was war in the Pyrean Empire before its ruin, when the cleansing happened, it was as if all living beings simply fell down and died. It is ghastly.
Okay, and where do I come in? Where do these visions and my powers come from?
Well, this is the reason why we need your help. Not only episodes of history recur within every cycle, characters do as well.
Characters recur?
Yes, the Pyreans call them the emissaries. They emerge very shortly before the cleansing occurs, like a law of nature, an answer to the Red Madness. And I am one of them, as are you. While I take on the role of the ruler, you take on the role of the prophet.
I'm supposed to be a prophet?
It's just a description. Call it what you will. But without doubt, it is the truth. Your story matches the descriptions perfectly.
Okay. I take this as the reason why the Nehrimese mages are here, isn't it? Firespark, Picast, Sharam. Why me of all people? If I play a role, does that mean that something is controlling me, controlling us?
No. As I already said, the emissaries simply appear at the beginning of the end, like pieces on a chessboard. We are determined by our skills. How and to what end we use them is our choice.
Okay. That's an interesting thing. Okay. I think that's the reason why you guys are here?
Yes. Former enemies or not, both sides have understood the magnitude of the threat. The magical knowledge of Narazul's former mages is vast, as is the power of the Holy Order. Even though not all of the Keepers agree, as you probably have already noted yourself.
Yeah. So why me of all people?
I do not know. Firespark the Mage has told me your story. And even though your fate is tragic, unlike me, you were insignificant before your change. So maybe everyone can become an emissary, or we simply have not understood the pattern yet.
How do you know you're an emissary? Didn't Firespark say that he also had dreams and stuff like that for it? Or most of the mages had that? So doesn't that mean there's more than just us too? Or did I misinterpret what you meant by that? Anyway, and what defines this prophet?
On the one hand, your power. You carry the potential to master any skill within a fraction of the usual time needed. I assume you have already realized this.
I read books.
On the other hand, your ability to look into the past, and therefore into the future.
Into the past and therefore into the future? What do you mean?
Your visions are a window into the past. And as every cycle is based on the same events, it is a window into the future as well. You can feel the thread this world is woven with. And because of that, You can see things that have happened, and thus will happen again. This gift makes you indispensable to us, and it is why I want your help.
You just want to use me for my power. No, I'm kidding. Okay. And if all this doesn't interest me?
Hollow words. Deep inside, you know your responsibility. Trust me, we are more alike than you believe.
You like to steal things from other people's fortresses? Why do you think that we can overcome this cycle in the first place after hundreds of civilizations have failed?
That is the wrong question. The correct question is, what alternative do we have? To wait and die?
That is not a decision I want to make based on that gut feeling. Give me some time. What's in it for me if I help you?
If it is wealth and power you seek, you will have it. The Order has enough of both.
Cool. Alright, if I can help, I will try to do so.
Good. However, there's one more thing before the actual work begins. I want you to join our Order, and to do so, you have to pass a test. A trial.
What? Come on, man. Join your Order? Is this really necessary?
It is. Whatever you think about our story, we are the only faction that is strong enough to oppose the cycle. If you want to be part of our mission, you need to have access to our knowledge and resources.
I already kind of do.
There will be voices in the Order speaking against your admission, as they are speaking against the presence of the Neremese mages. Consider it an honor or a necessity. It is up to you.
What kind of test?
It is the trial the novices have to pass in order to be exalted to the role of a keeper. Only the best students of the Squalor are allowed admission, and even though you have not been a novice, I want you to take it too. At this very moment, 2 novices are on their way to the testing grounds. I have informed them about your arrival.
My mouse, there we go. Who are the 2 novices?
I have only a slight acquaintance with them. However, I know that they are both very talented